Apparently we're ready to go. So who wants to see some FF4?
Please get excited for FF4.
Nice. We are ready for FF4. So let's get it started.
We got donations, but you can get started and just let me know.
Sure. Is it one for a timer?
Zero.
Zero. That's funky. All right. Well, we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1, go. So before we start, we have some donations apparently. So, yeah.
Yes, we have donations from me and PSX for the encounter counter. We both gave $22.20. I put $5 to naming Paladin Cecil Arnie, $5 to Rosa getting the final hit, and the rest from both has gone to DKC Warpless. And A-Dubs has said, greetings from America. Thank you to all the runners and staff putting on this event for a great cause. Put this towards stealing the boombox in Firewatch because stupid teenagers are stupid. Thank you very much for your donation.
How much did you put towards Arnie?
$5 for the Paladin, not for.
Okay.
I think there was a name for the.
Yeah. So there's two at the moment. So Rivers put Bugger, and that's for $10.50, and then so that's leading, and then there's Arnie at $5.
Was there a name for one and then for the other, or?
It's just a running total. But I can donate $10 to name it Arnie later.
Honestly, I like Bugger.
Bugger's good.
Bugger's good. So welcome to FF4. I'm the Roth. Been playing this game for about 3 years. So I think I'm gotten better at it since 3 years ago.
You would hope so.
I got attacked by the floater, which never happens. Well, it does happen, but very rarely. You can pause on this screen once you win. I'm going to get attacked by the Raven as well, because I'm slow. But I can, yeah. It's all good. So these are two kind of obligatory battles. You see Cecil using some crazy stuff that you don't see in this version, because the Japanese version had a lot of stuff and then they took out a lot of stuff for the US version for some reason. It made it a lot easier. They nerfed a bunch of bosses. So I'll try to point out some of the differences in the runs between the two categories as we go. But yeah, like any Final Fantasy game, this game has a bunch of crystals in it. There's normally 4 or 8, and so this king is for some reason looking for them, and he seems quite greedy and nasty. So we don't like it very much, and so we get a conscience. But yeah, Baigen's the kind of the henchman of the king.
We can't have that Cecil thinking. Next time he'll start questioning authority.
Yeah. So the category I'm doing is any percent no credit warp. So I'll be completing about 2/3 of the game and then completing it without doing the other third. So I'll be able to show off a lot of the game, and then the last 15 minutes of it is pretty funny. So, that's all the talking out of the way. Now we can play some game. It's obviously obligatory battle speed and message settings. Before going to do stuff, I grab this tent. I'll use it later. There's other things in the chest, but they're useless. Things like cure items and GP. I think there's 200 GP in one of the chests. I used to grab it if I needed to later on in the game. But yeah, here's Sid, aka Mr. Twirly Man. He likes jumping around and twirling. We'll see him a bit later, about an hour and hour and 20 minutes into the game. Here's a maid who walks straight through you if you talk to her from above. Yeah, it's definitely easy mode.
Rosa needs to put some clothes on in the later versions.
So Rosa's, she's nice. She cares about Cecil, but she also calls him a wimp. And so then Cecil goes back to bed in all of his armor.
Gotta be ready for anything.
Yeah, you gotta be ready for anything. But yeah, so obligatory prelude. Kind of tries to explain backstory with bad translations. But yeah, the Baron has a mighty army called the Red Wings. Bunch of planes, airships which fly around, or the chopper.
It's the chopper.
And yeah, so they fly around trying to get more power, because with more power becomes more greed.
Actually, if you're going to stick around, I might need a reminder to swap my magic after I become a paladin. Okay. Cool. Because with the roast and Cecil, roast and Cecil, I'll need that. Okay. How do you say swap magic? You'll know exactly what that means.
Yeah,
Sweet.
So it's a typical Final Fantasy trope, if you will, about the whole technology versus magic and nature and those sorts of things, isn't it? Like we're talking about the airships and amplifying the crystals for the power and greed and all those sorts of things. That's sort of typical to most Final Fantasies.
Yeah. I mean, later on, when graphics became a lot better, the technological side of the world is just so... It becomes mind-boggling as to what things are capable of. So I'm actually going to rename Cecil first. I'm told that it's in here, so it better be, otherwise I'll look really bad. So, all right. So I'm going to rename our name. Rename Cecil to. Okay.
Love it.
We're also going to rename Kane to. Softman.
Our hero, our Lord and Savior.
Alright, cool.
We'll get good HP growths now.
Alright. So we start our quest for coolness. And we'll get attacked a bunch of times, but that's okay. When we normally start speedruns, I actually manipulate all these attacks to not happen. And there's a way that you can do that with the save files I was messing around with earlier, but I won't go into it. But it's all part of the wonderful world of step routing and step manipulation, which seems to get more prevalent in games now. Especially in the Super Nintendo community, like Super Nintendo RPGs, there is so much manipulation that it's really brought the time down for games. But when you can walk frame perfectly or manipulate the RNG that you see in battles, that's all really used to get really good items early on, and it allows you to kill early bosses a lot faster. and then you can sell those items for a lot of GP, and then either get a lot of safe items or a lot more gear for your characters if you need it. So there's a boss coming up called Mist Dragon. I'm gonna kill it, obviously, but yeah, I do a lot of stuff in this menu. That might have been too fast. Nah, we're cool. So this fight is done using audio cues, but I cannot hear the TV at all. And what will happen in 2 turns time is that Mist Dragon will turn to mist, and then I have to time an audio cue, which I can't hear, to have Kane jump. And so that Kane can actually jump before Mist Dragon turns form. See if I got it. Sweet. I didn't grab the carrot. Whoops. Oh, we don't have a carrot. Whatever. Who needs carrots in this game? I'll get one later. That's cool. Wow, Kane has done some really bad damage. Good job, Kane. So some menus I'll actually hold down and hold A, because then you have a chance of having the guy do the second action in their turn. So I just had Kane jump, kind of buffered in a sense. So we've killed Mist Dragon, and we did a weird equipping thing, which I'll explain in a sec. But firstly, I have to do something that's going to look even stranger. So I'm gonna kind of do this on menu, then save. Hopefully that the save takes. It does. Cool. Okay, and we're going to use a tent because we picked up a tent, so we might as well. Keep in mind that when I menued before, I was facing left. The game actually thinks I'm one tile over, so then I can kind of walk onto mist and then kind of do that. So now I've saved and I've lost my shield by the looks of it, but now I am on top of mist, so I can enter it from this side. You're not supposed to do this.
You don't
Some
say.
people say it's cheating, but it's okay. So I'm going to go here and sell something. I'm going to sell this empty slot for 3.2 million GP and then buy some dancing daggers. And no one has any idea what just happened, but so in Mist Dragon, the game has all of these empty slots in the the item menu when you go into it, and they're all, you can kind of think of them as like empty times 1, or you might see a tent times 1 or a package times 1, but they're like empty slots. So if you grab one of those empty items and you equip it on your character during battle, it then turns that empty slot into like 255 or whatever, or 0, I can't remember what it is, but if you then re-equip that empty item in a certain way, the game will then give you 255 nothings. And it keeps that after battle, and later on you can actually equip an item on that and it turns whatever item you equip into 0 of that item. And so when you sell it later, the game, instead of thinking of it as 0, it thinks of it as like 65,000 of them. So you basically get a lot of GP really early in the game, and it really helps for buying dancing daggers, which we will abuse a lot. And we also went into that town above, which has the change rod on Tiara, which will basically be put on Rydia so she can withstand attacks and be sorry, the change rod will be put on Teller later on, because Teller is pretty useless, but with the change rod he's a little bit good. Just gonna organize some stuff. So I'll put the items in specific spots for later, but just helps with equipping. So you may have noticed I re-entered Mist. You can skip Mist completely, and then go on through the game. But when you reach the next area, normally Teller, the sage, is waiting for you, and then he says, you know, go away. I'm waiting for a Dark Knight to come along.
We need to somehow get on.
Except he isn't actually there until you activate that cutscene.
It still says Final
And you also have to
Fantasy
talk to
1.
Rosa. You have to talk to Rosa as well to then make Teller be able to do the right thing and join your party. But if he's not there, you continue through the game until you reach Optimum. You kill Optimum, and then later on, when you enter Damsian, the game will just softlock because it's expecting Teller to be in your party, and because you haven't activated him yet, the game just goes, well, okay, I'll give up, you win. So there's a fight coming up in the middle of the night, and we've got beds around us. And then guards rush in and go, well, give that girl back. And Cecil's now trying to be a good person. He says, no. And we're going to do this fight, but we're going to actually run a few times during it. So you can kind of imagine Cecil running around. Whoops. CRT is tougher. I don't play on a CRT, so all of my timings are off. But the idea behind running is that if you get your turn at the same time that you run, so if you run at the same time that you get your turn, the active time battle system will pause, so the ATB pauses, and so that like if I'm just holding A during this battle, then the general will actually charge a lot more than what he normally does. But if I time my run buffers well, then I can actually beat all three guards without them attacking at all. And I'll be using that a lot in this game. Oops. This is a really good menu. That was amazing. Ah, okay. Oops. We're just changing the stream title. Oops. Hopefully that updated. I'm sure it does. So we have to talk to Rosa to then advance the plot. But she's a bit sick from climbing mountains and going through the desert. So she has desert fever. And it can only be cured with a sand ruby, which it sounds bizarre. It's yeah, a ruby that's made of sand, I guess.
Yeah, just go with it.
Just yeah. So, but here's the bane of our run, Teller. This guy, for a better word, he's just an absolute troll for the run. Spells in this game, certain ones have a chance of failing. Even life, when you cast life on someone, it doesn't work all the time, which makes it really annoying when you're trying to play fast. But in this run, we used the stop spell a few times, which is really weird. Like you'd never think you would actually cast stop on yourself, let alone 3 times during the run. But that's what we do. And it turns out to be faster, because in one instance, during the next fight, Teller's turns are really slow and they're really weak. But for the first part of the fight, you actually want people attacking as often as possible, just because the enemy attacks so often. And it gets a bit not dangerous, but annoying when Rydia keeps getting hit. So we have Teller attack at the start, and then we have him just cast stop on himself, so he does nothing for the rest of the battle. But he can fail it, and yeah. I'm getting a lot of encounters. I'm not used to seeing lots of these, but they happen. It's okay. There's worse things in life than encounters.
Is that because of step manipulation, or?
Yeah. In a nutshell, there's specific rooms like that save room, and also the waterfall coming up where you can actually walk around there indefinitely and not get encounters. But the game still registers what step number you're on. It's basically it's a number that increases, and then every 256 steps it kind of goes to a different kind of encounter pattern. So I'm going to pick up this chest. It gives Cecil a little bit of damage boost. But yeah, in the safe rooms, we call them, you can, because you can take as many steps as you want, it means you can basically put yourself on whatever part of the encounter string that you want. So I can basically just go here and go la-di-da-di-da kind of thing. So I actually use that room a lot to kind of manipulate encounters. So if you know an encounter's coming up in 4 steps time, you can just take 4 steps in that room and you'll skip the encounter. And over the course of like a run, like a 2-hour run, what this is, you might save a minute. You might skip over like 10 encounters that you wouldn't normally get, that you would normally get rather. But it's not only just the encounters; it's the potential of getting a back attack, and even more so by a bad encounter, and then you have to heal afterwards, so it wastes a lot of time. So that encounter's bad because the alligators are fast and they attack lots. Crocodiles later on are worse. So this Octomum battle, Octomum's pretty horrible. She's really quick. But we have Teller use Lit 1 because I think it's weak to Lit 1. Or strong to everyone else. Everything else I can't remember. But it does like 35 to 75, but Dancing Dagger on the other hand does heaps. I say that and then it does the lowest roll. So it can do up to 280. Actually going to go down here and grab the change rod. Sorry, the trash can. I'm gonna save that for something special. What the hell? Sorry, I wasn't expecting. Ah, Riddy's dead. Awesome. Nice. Let's see Teller fail life.
So, Roth, who's your favorite Final Fantasy character and why is it Teller?
It's not Teller. I'll tell you that right now. If anyone's favorite character is Teller and you run this game, you no longer run it. Alright, I'm going to move this down because I can. Yeah, we'll have Teller stop himself. So why not? We'll move that down. And he failed stop. Nice. Oh, baby. I've got to heal Rydia again, because she's our main damage dealer. Move the rod down. Attack. And then we have Teller's another turn. So the fight's almost over now, so I'm actually going to have Teller heal everyone first. Might not even bother with stop, to be honest, but we'll see. Okay, Dancing trash can, iron, change rod. The inventory management, it becomes really important in this game. I guess at least at a higher level. Just because equipment menus later on, if you're constantly searching for items at the bottom of your inventory, it just eats into your time. And so during boss fights, when other animations are going on, I will move items into their right spots, or move bad items just completely out of the way. 2506 Optimum. Nice. That's my best time. I think it's my highest ever time. Alright, so when you walk onto that last grass tile, there is a cutscene. But if you save here, I haven't actually explained how this glitch works yet, but yeah, we skip it and Damsian looks perfectly fine, except it's not. So there's a glitch in the game where you can even practice it if you wanted to, where if you walk around in a town, just constantly just hold the right button down and walk in a straight line, and then at some point just hold down X. What Cecil will do is he'll stop and then take a little fraction of a step, and then you'll go into the menu. So if you're like walking around in a square and you do the same thing, Cecil will finish his tile that he's on, and then change direction for one frame, and then your menu. So back at Mist, what I do is I'm walking right towards a town, then I hold left and menu. So the game thinks you're actually on the tile left of Mist, just for a split second. So you use a tent, and that causes like just a little graphical glitch. And then you do the same thing walking back on top of Mist, which kind of rectifies your position. And then you save, and the game thinks you're back on Mist. So
Shout
you can do a
out
similar
to
thing.
Spoony Bard.
Oh yeah, Spoony Bard. Yeah, Spoony Bard's kind of iconic. I missed it. I apologise. I'll see myself out. PSX Freak's taking over the run.
Wait, what? Impromptu.
Yeah.
Never played this game before, so it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I got this.
PSX has a Super Nintendo, which I believe he's going to show off next run. So, and it's, man, should I spoil it now, or?
Might as well.
Might as well.
Really matter.
Might as well hype it up, because if you're watching this run and you want to see something funny next, you should definitely stick around. So, when PSX was young, he went downstairs and grabbed some food while leaving his Super Nintendo on, and then went back upstairs, and his Super Nintendo was playing at the same speed but at twice the music, so it was like high pitched and so it was like chipmunk style, and that's persisted for however many years. And he's going to be playing True Lies with yeah. The voices are hilarious.
The death screams are amazing.
Oh, man.
To say the least.
Kind of thing. Like he showed it off at SpudCon last year, and like he showed off like the Final Fantasy VI opera cutscene, and
Or what I could show of it.
yeah, it glitches out actually. Like Mortal Kombat, like any game which has like audio, like sound, like talking clips, sound pretty hilarious, and the music tracks are really good too. Like Lufia 2, I played that on his drunk SNES, we call it. I think he calls it drunk SNES. It's a good idea.
Spud actually coined the phrase drunk SNES, so
Nice.
shout out to Spud and crowd.
Yeah, Potato Handle sitting in the front row.
Yeah, so the drunk SNES, he did a bit of a showcase. I played Lufia 2 on it, and that music is just incredible with drunk SNES music.
I mean, that's why it is the greatest game of all time.
Of course.
If you would like to disagree with PSX on that, please send in your donations now.
So there's a boss coming up. We need to kill it to get the sand ruby for some reason. The monster used to be tame,
Yeah.
and now it isn't.
Did you see my run so bad?
So
Yeah.
Antlion's become bad. It attacks
Did you
Edward and
see
we
how
go,
much I was
no!
plugging?
And we need to kill it. So this boss will
Yeah,
counter
no.
any physical attack. I need to do that, and then parry.
Never realised how
Run.
ugly Antlion looks.
Oh, Antlion gets weirder the longer you look at it. Yeah, we killed it in 30 minutes and 30 seconds. Oh, baby.
This is the V run.
So Antlion has 1,000 hit points, and without Dancing Daggers, this fight is hell. Well, it used to be hell because we didn't know about a different glitch at the time as well. But because it counters every physical attack. It won't counter magical attack. So if you're playing this game like you should, you'll get like one attack with Fridia, which is Chocobo, and it does like 200 from memory. And then you have to physical attack it every single time, and that, yeah, if you don't have any cures, then you're basically just playing roulette as to who survives, and if all three guys die, then yeah, it's rip. But Dancing Daggers, when you use a Dancing Dagger, it actually casts a spell called Dancing, and I think it's wind-based. And so it doesn't matter who has a Dancing Dagger, it'll always do the same amount. And because it's a spell base, it'll do somewhere between 250 and 400 damage, and you can kill Antlion in either 3 or 4 hits. So it's basically just cheesing the boss, and the Dancing Dagger will just wreck everything in this run. So, hooray for parking the hovercraft not where I need to. You definitely notice, but when I do runs, I actually play on a LCD screen, and there's just a slight bit of delay, and so like a lot of my timings are off. I'm actually like attempting to run, or I'm trying to menu or move just a bit earlier than what I'm used to, and it's kind of you'll see me bonk walls and fail menus a lot more. It's no big deal or anything. So yeah, we give the Sand Ruby to Rosa somehow. I'm not sure how. But she feels better now, and she's quite chirpy. She wants to join the party. Except Cecil's a bit protective, and Rosa says, no! And then Cecil says, okay. Oh, sorry, Vaga sounds okay. It's a bit of a running joke in my stream. So Edward's sad because of what happened with his girlfriend. His girlfriend Anna died to save his life at Damsien earlier. But Anna's Teller's daughter or granddaughter? I can't remember. He's bloodline to Teller though, so he plays some music and disturbs a water hag who doesn't like his music.
I can't believe Edward got heckled.
Poor Edward. So this fight is actually in without Dancing Daggers, and normally Edward would be in the top slot. I believe both affect accuracy, although I'm not 100% sure about that. So if you have Edward in the middle slot with Dancing Dagger, he will never miss Water Hag. But if he's in the top slot, he can miss Water Hag, and so if becomes a back and forth battle, and you can die. In the Japanese version, you've got a bigger chance of dying in that fight. So it's funny having a run rip to something that is trivial. But the center slot mechanics get abused in this run. And it's also, depending on what slot party members are in, also affects agility. So even slower members can be in the middle slot and act first in battle, which is what we do for fights coming up. So at the moment we've manipulated, well, we haven't manipulated, but we've put Edward in the middle slot so that he'll act first in the next few battles. We also grab that ether because why not? Actually, I may have to grab. I might grab more ethers. In the unsafe route, I only use one ether, and I don't pick up. I'm actually going to save before this because of things. This boss fight can go downhill very quickly.
So this is the scene that why I don't like Rosa. The idea set it on fire, and she's like, "But I'm scared of fire. Your boyfriend burned down my home."
Yeah, it's a bit of Rydia. Fire. We gotta stop mashing. Alright, so this guy, Yang, whose head is bigger than half of his body. But he's his class is actually called Karate Man. And he does some Liu Kang style kicks. Well, maybe Liu Kang's based off of Yang, I'm not sure. But he's cool. He likes to be bad and miss. And his kicks are pretty bad too, but they do the job. So, yeah. Ideally, you'd like Yang's second kick to kill that imp, but sometimes it doesn't happen, and sometimes you can have like 5 kicks. Sorry, yeah, 5 attacks go off before everything dies and just waste time. This thing has 800 hit points. Not again. It's with, yeah, Dance Dance, so that's 35. 42. $45. That's enough. So parry. No, don't fight. Parry. This time he's going to be up to. Hope that was okay. I think it is. So the idea is you do 800 damage and then you line up a kick. And then the kick actually will go off on these bombs, and you can kind of kill almost all of them before they start attacking. So the more bombs that are on the screen when they start attacking, and then they all just attack at once, because that's how they roll. But if the fight goes smoothly, then either one bomb will attack or none of them will, and that's what we like to see. So this fight went really well. Apart from Yang, because Yang... So we've just seen what Yang's capable of. 27. He's really bad at the start, and then after he gains a level, he's a little bit stronger, but still. Karate Man. If I knew where Naming Way was in Fabul, I would actually stop in Fabul and change all the other party members just for kicks. I was gonna name them all Softman 25 or just Softman, but
Siftman.
S-Man.
S-Man. The Sman.
S-Man.
Sman.
Do you have time to a charity plug? I don't have
Sure.
any donations, but
Yeah, go for it.
just a reminder that we are the Australian Speedrun Marathon coming to you live from Avcon in Adelaide. We'd like to give a big shout out to Avcon for having us here for the 3rd year in a row. It is very much appreciated. They've given us a good setup. We are no longer locked behind the MA15 wall, so if you're in Adelaide, there's no reason not to come down and say hello to us, watch some good speed games. We are also raising money for Beyond Blue, which is an Australian charity designed, which aims to promote awareness of and reduce the stigma around mental illness. We have raised nearly $2,500, and I don't know about you guys, but I think we can get to $2,500 by the end of this run. So
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome.
let's get those donations coming in, and let's get DKC3 warpless.
So I'm safety saving here because I'm scared of this next section.
It's just gonna stand up and.
This actually without this segment is pretty scary. I have to get through 6 battles without healing, and 3 out of the 6 battles, if I don't play them well, I will get attacked more, and there's a chance that Edward will die, and if he dies earlier, then it's bad. So I'm kind of hoping I can hit these run buffers, but it hasn't been good to. It hasn't been so good so far. Alright. Come on. Okay, there's one. So you have to run buffer and what the? Hey, here we go. Let me just move something quickly. Okay, everything's in position. You have to run buffer and select and throw the dancing dagger on one of the fighters before that can't run message disappears. If the message disappears, then the ATB unfreezes and it ticks over, and the guard is the general's pretty much scripted to act at the start of that battle. But he has a bit of a variable agility, and so if you're quick enough, you can actually get in before he does. Waterhag is going to attack first, because that's what happens when you fail the run buffer. So the beauty of moving the characters around like I have, earlier on I swapped over Teller and Rydia and also put Cecil in the bottom slot instead of the middle, so that when Yang joins, he joins up in a faster slot than what Cecil does. So as soon as Yang levels up, which I think he did, or he levels up on the next fight, he'll actually overtake Cecil in agility. And so now he's got his turn first, and Yang is actually a bit more powerful than Cecil. So he does have a chance to one-shot these fighters. Except when he does 25, because Cecil's really good. Yeah, that's good. Charge! So this has gone really well so far. This one's a scary one. You want to get through this with Edward alive, so otherwise it does a lot of damage. Whatever, that'll do. I also have to dupe the Fireclaw, which happened. Yeah, so duping the Fire Claw basically means you do the weird thing I did at, during the Mist Dragon fight. So now Yang has 255 nothings in one of his hands, but he's got a Fire Claw in the other because he can dual wield. Ah. Yeah. That's fine. Edward can do whatever he wants after this fight. Okay, so I need a... I was hoping to get back to Yang's turn so I could unequip the Fire Claw, but that's okay. What I need to do at the end of this segment is have... I'm going to be equipping and unequipping Yang's item a lot, but it'll do a weird thing and give me 254 Fire Claws, which I kind of need for the run. I'll explain why later on.
I can't believe Soft Man's turned on you.
Soft Man?
We trusted you,
Whoops, I was
Soft
running.
Man.
I didn't mean to run. Alright, cool. If you attack yourself and put yourself in a critical state in this battle, you save about 15 seconds. Because of things. Cutscene things.
Still
Okay.
the same. Keep looking at the total.
So here we see the this blue dude walking off the screen with a big nose. That's his name is Golbez, and he thinks he's evil. But he was the one responsible for murdering Edward's wife, I think, Edward's girlfriend. Except we don't know that at this point. We just see this dude who seems to have gotten a hold of Kane, or maybe Kane's following him. We don't really know. I walked upwards. I know this game. So I was supposed to grab a carrot in the Chocobo Forest at the start of the game. So I'm just going to grab one here instead. There we go. Okay, so that and the black sword's going to be moved actually, so I might just arrange my inventory now while it's while I can.
You're preying on the person. You're preying on the person with limited rockband knowledge. Instead of preying on the person with limited rockband knowledge.
Okay, so now that Fire Claw has like... I have a black square 4 amount. It actually says 254, but the game doesn't know how to represent 25 in one tile. So the guys want to go and visit Sid because Mr. Twirly Man is really cool. So we're going to go back to Baron, and we do that via ship. So Yang says goodbye to his wife, which her name is Yang's wife.
That's a good name. Good name.
Thanks, Rivers. Sub 49 boat. It's really good. Don't you wish you had a Sub 49 boat. This is how you play the game. I know, because I know these things. But yeah, they blab on about some stuff. And Edward gets cold.
That wasn't the piece of paper you took to the apple-shaped paper.
Nothing much goes on for a couple of minutes. This next segment's actually really cutscene heavy. I think there's 4 cutscenes. So we're at number 2. Actually, it's 5 cutscenes.
Just a reminder,
Stop it.
we do have a bid war coming up for the end of this run.
Oh, we do, yes. And it closes when Cecil becomes a paladin.
That's coming up soon, isn't it? That's coming up soon, isn't it?
Yeah, it's coming up in about 10 minutes-ish, 15. But if there's no other interest, I'm happy to just change it to Arnie.
You can keep it as
Arnie, the paladin. Arnie. That'll be even better when I get the airship. We'll get to the chopper. Literally.
We also have a donation in war for who gets the final hit, whether it's Rosa or Fusoya, and that will be closing off 30 minutes before the run end. Right now, Rosa is in the lead, but it's only $5, so
Ooh. Rosa.
you won me over when you told me the teller looked like beer.
Alright, so I'm going to buy some weird stuff and sell some weird stuff, so bear with me. I'm going to sell that. And then I'm actually going to buy heals and whatever. I'm not going to complain too much. Let's just move those ethers. I don't normally do that, but safety. Black mages want to talk. Alright, cool. Ah, 2 silvers. Awesome. So that went perfectly. The only way that could have went better is if the white mage blocked my path. But we have to talk to this elder who is the guy that we killed all of his dudes in the opening cutscenes, and he says, "What do you want?" And Cecil basically says, "Well, I need to cleanse my soul of darkness," or whatever he says, and Elder's like, "Whatever. Here's some kids." The green one is a cheeky little dude, and they're twins. So he's gonna be later on important. So we have to do some things, and they could go well, they could go badly, but I'm gonna give it a shot. So the elder wants us to go to Mount Ordeals and climb the mountain, but he's bringing along these 2 kids to keep an eye on Cecil, although he doesn't know that.
I found that line.
So yeah, 4 encounters later and we're here. It's this mountain. I'm actually going to safety save halfway up it because why not? I don't think things will go badly, but I'm going to try something which, if it goes wrong, it can turn dangerous. And I haven't really, haven't practiced it, let alone on a CRT where I need timing. The timing actually has to be really well in this next fight I'm going to try. But it's going to look really, really strange. Because normally you think like the first thing you would try to do is attack the boss and stuff, but I'm not even going to bother. But we'll see if it happens. But the strat I'm going to do, at first it was purely used as a donation incentive in runs, because it was really dangerous, but when done well, it's pretty funny. But now it's actually it's at a point where not only is it reasonably safe, but it's also faster than the just throw everything you've got at the boss. But if I get the strats, I'll explain them on the way down from the mountain. But the strats involve a lot of things going right. So actually I'm gonna attack Porin, because we don't like her, and we've missed.
Nice. That's just RNG manipulation.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh baby, I did equip the black sword, didn't I? Yeah, we got the black sword on. So the black sword is instant death. If it, yeah. Alright, you're going down. Stop attacking, please. Hey, there we go. Alright, so we had to hit Porin below 65-ish. Because, yeah. Tell her, you old man. We're not actually sure how Teller actually gets here, because this is a completely different continent than the one we started on. And the only way you can really get here is if you take the teleporter from Mysidia to Baron, which is currently closed because of what Baron did to Mysidia at the start of the game.
But it's amazing Teller got here before you, considering how slow he is.
He's a speedy guy, he just doesn't let on.
I did appreciate playing FF4 how whenever Teller would level up, his speed would go down.
Yeah. It's great. Yeah, Teller's stats are really bizarre. Your stats can go down after leveling up. Now I actually need to move, I don't need to mash anymore. So we're halfway up the mountain. And there's going to be 2 boss fights. The first of the 4 fiends, called Mylon or Scar Miglione or something. I've got to fight him in 2 forms. And the first one he's alive and he's with 4 of these dudes. Porin's dead, that's okay. If you wanted to play safe, you would heal, like you would equip a bunch of stuff, but I didn't buy any of that, so we're just gonna go with it. But after you kill Mylon, Mylon's got 2100 hit points, but if you do more than 3100 in one hit, you don't get his suicide message. I need a life. Yeah, everything else is good, so he can save. And then straight afterwards you have another boss called Mylon Z, which I guess means zombie, but he has 3000 hit points, and you normally just throw cures at Mylon Z. But yeah, so let's hope this fight goes well. I'm gonna look weird. It's gonna look really weird, but hopefully it goes well. No, I didn't get it. Anyway, next time. I'll explain what I was doing afterwards, but I'm just going to kill this guy normally. So what I wanted to do was murder Porin while I got her turn. I was going to just use Twin, and that would have made Palom go really weird. Whatever. Let's just get through the fight. Yeah, Twin one up. So now I'll just damage him to death. That sounded weird, but 648. He always counters with any sort of attack. So that double lit 1 is his counter plus his normal lit 1. I could have put the change rod on Palom actually, but yeah, that's okay. I've got a bunch of ethers, so that's no dramas.
Amazing.
You're gonna get that, and I'm gonna use Twin again. I'm gonna move the rod down. So I'm gonna quit the Darkness Sword, wherever I put that. Hopefully I have enough MP left. Whatever. So we're going to Ether the Twins. Might actually cure Cecil too. Without gear, Mylon can be pretty brutal. On Palom. Don't normally have those, so I'm just going to move them out of the way. Flare is good. We don't need Trash Can anymore. That can go into the Deep Ravine. I think we're set. Might ether everyone. Just as a precaution, but I'm just gonna swap these two guys and change rows. Alright, so round 2 of this, what I was supposed to try to do. Hopefully it works, because it's pretty awesome. I'd like to be able to do it. So I'm gonna murder Porum. Hopefully that wasn't too fast, but okay, cool. Some Ice Tooling Porum, and please work. Stop. Awesome. All right, check out Palom's next turn, and watch what he's doing. Carrot.
Nice.
So we just murdered someone with a carrot. What do I need? What do I need? I need a Paladin shield.
Whoever said carrots were good for you is lying.
Yeah. So that's how that fight is actually supposed to go. We actually throw a carrot at Mylonzi and murder him.
And he falls off the bridge.
Yeah, he falls off the bridge. Going go
Got
back.
a carrot.
Yeah. So if you so you obviously can't use the carrot or the trash can, but if you can manage to use those items, and the carrot is basically the equivalent of like 8 fire 2 or fire 3 spells. I think it's fire 2, but I'm not sure. And then the trash can is 8 holy spells. Once I do this, I'll explain how I killed Mylon Z. But I was going to do the same, a similar thing to Mylon. But yeah, this fight is interesting as well. Like normally you're supposed to wait it out, but like to cleanse your inner soul and be a true paladin, but it turns out you can just kill yourself. So it's always better to do actions while there's other actions going on. So I purposely exited that menu just so Dark Knight would actually do something. But yeah, now we're... he blabs on a bit more and then we're become a paladin. So yeah, 105 paladin. Yeah, cool. Rivers is gonna laugh at me now. Rivers McCowan's in the stream. He has the world record for the category with no 64 door glitch. But so what I did during Mylon Z was you can abuse something called the mimic glitch. So whenever one twin uses twin, the other one will mimic that person. But if you kill that person right as they're about to use twin, then the person, one of the twins will be put in this like constant state of mimicry. And it will just start mimicking whatever action and target is set by the game when they get their turn. So we put Palam in a state of mimicry, and the game will then... I can then confuse the game into saying, hey, we're going to be using the trash can without actually using it by basically stopping the action of one of the characters. So we have telecast stop on Cecil, who's kind of gone into his menu and pretended to use an item and then like swapped that item with something else. So the game thinks we're going to use that item slot, but whatever's in the item slot doesn't matter. And it turns out that it's a carrot in that case.
Are we supposed to swap your magic around now?
Ah, thank you. Yeah. I'm going to do that. This is important. Thanks for that. I completely forgot. So this is really important for the bid war, in case I need it. I won't explain why. Well, I'll explain why afterwards, if it's necessary. But they're not going to level up anymore. They're not going to gain any more spells. How do you want Arnie spelled?
Huh?
How do you want Arnie spelled?
I do believe A-R-N-I-E.
In caps?
Yeah, why not? Do you want it in caps, Arnie? Huh? Do we want Arnie in caps?
Sure.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Do it! Get out of here! That Chocobo is actually good, I believe. I think if Rivers is watching.
Shout out to Chocobos.
Yes,
So I only really played the 3D version of this.
You're gonna get a cap as well.
Naming way
Nah, we won't worry about that.
becomes basically every other job because you can't change the names because it's voice acted. Mapping way. I can't remember the other ones, but
Or a camping way.
camping
Yeah,
way.
we just have one called Soft Man.
You are the hero of Black Mage Batman 1.
I was gonna name all of them, but time and all that jazz.
He became the last action hero.
Want to be born from a dragon. So this text is the legend and it makes no sense whatsoever. But it's there.
Well, you see, dragons.
Well, I like to pretend that he was actually born from an actual dragon.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. But sadly, not.
I mean, FF14 had Shiva and the Midgard's or Gracevelga get together, so anything's possible
Whatever
in Final
works.
Fantasy.
Might be taught in schools, I don't know. Alright, so we've got the blessing from the Elder. They've turned the teleporter back on. And we're gonna go for an adventure. Back to Baron, where it all began. So we're about halfway through now. Probably a bit over halfway. Varney Vaughn. Oh. How are you, man? Welcome to this glorious run. It's going perfectly.
Don't say that.
Yeah, then it will go perfectly. God.
Alright, so here's Yang. We think it'd be friendly, and he's like, nah, I don't know you. But you just win this fight by holding up an A. At least for that bit. Luckily, Softman didn't die. Now I need to move stuff. Dancing... that'll do. I need the top left spots free. But I need to move other things as well. Silver? Geiger's over there, okay. Achoo!
The hell
Okay.
sneeze.
Oh man, Yang needs some hay fever medicine. But yeah, we knock him back to his senses. Even if you miss, he's cool. He's like, well, okay. But it turns out that I guess he has amnesia, or maybe he just feels weak. But he did jump in after Rydia on the boat. So we'll give him a little bit of credit for his bad performance earlier on.
Also, it's hard to recognize you as a paladin, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Cecil now has purple hair and a cape. So yeah. But it's even funnier, like when you, right before you fight Yang, you go, yeah, it's me, Cecil, and Yang's like, I know, kick. All right, so I need to menu, and this menu is going to look even weirder than the one I did before. So this is the one I actually don't want to mess up. I mean, again, it's no big deal if I do, but I don't really want to have lots of items in my inventory. So this one's okay. That's just that, and then I'm buying a lot of weird amounts of items. Let's be... Just gonna get rid of those so I don't confuse myself. Okay. That menu went well apart from those 25 calls, but I bought a lot of weird amounts of items for much later in the game. So we're on the way back to the castle to talk to the king. I assume that's what we're doing, or maybe we're going back to see Sid, I don't know, but we have to go this way, and the natural sequence of events, like as a casual you would talk to everyone. Rips off, man.
Oh no, Softman's dead.
James says to wish you luck.
Thank you.
So we get through here and then we end up in Baron and talk to everyone and eventually hit an event tile, which causes us to fight things. But this area in the game, so when you became a paladin, your level went back down to 1, and it makes your average party level a lot lower than what you had earlier. So because of that, and also the progression of game means that the average enemy level is also a lot higher, so you're a lot more likely to be back or surprise attacked for that reason. And so also the average number of enemies in an encounter also kind of increases. So if you get into a back attack, you get pummeled and you also waste a lot of time. And so when you're doing speedruns, you've got kind of 4 areas which if you start getting lots of encounters in, you start kind of wanting to be sad. I'll put it diplomatically. I tend to just laugh about it.
It's the best way to go about it.
Not sight. We want to cast Cure 4. So keep an eye on Teller's MP here. Alright, Boomerang 06, perfect. Why is my legend sword still there? Whatever. Paladin gears there. Oh, perfect. So I'll just in Teller's magic menu, there's a weird way of forcing the game to cast a spell that you don't have MP for, and if you do it, gives you, instead of minus 30 MP, it gives you like 60,000. But you need it for this boss, so Teller's got a spell called Meteor which casts 90, but it's 99 MP to cast, but you only have 90, and Teller's MP never increases. So it's kind of the game's scripty way of saying you've got something and something else is going to happen later on. But instead we'll just kill everything with Meteor.
Nice. So I feel like the Rock should read this one out again.
Oh, but he can't, but he's running.
Got it.
There's a cutscene coming up.
Well, there's a donation specifically for you.
Okay. Tangle.
Pass it back to
There should be Vampire coming up.
Pass it back to you.
Move Ethers to the top. Then we need the 58 claws.
Do the
and then
meteor.
Where's the iron? There it is. Okay, I'll do that next. It's no big drama. Okay, everyone's at low hit points actually. I might actually heal them before this battle. If Teller dies in the first 2 turns of this battle, things can go south very quickly because of the way the battle works.
I like when games give you the Final Fantasy games give you spells that you can't use. Like it's got Meteor in Teller's arsenal, or Meteor in his arsenal the whole time, but he can't use it.
Yeah,
Except
and then you
because it's scripted.
you just use it. You're like, well,
But then
game,
you just use
know,
it anyway. And
You know,
Garnet 9 has all her summons at really high MP cost.
Yeah.
You can grind long enough to use them.
Alright, so let's hope Teller doesn't get attacked first turn. And he does for a lot. Okay, so that means I'm gonna heal him because otherwise he can die to the next attack. Cast Lit 3 on Kainazo and hope Kainazo does enough. Shouldn't have parried, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I need a cure. Cure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be a cure. Then Ice Claw, Staff. Paladin can go down. Ah, whoops. I've got to move those 2 items later. Yeah, so the Kainazo fight, he has 4,000 hit points, and he's probably the easiest fiend in the game. He's the second out of the 4 fiends. But because you've got so many of Teller's spells, he becomes pretty trivial.
For you to read. He's back.
Wow.
Both or just...
Not just the top one.
All right. So the governor of California's back. He's donated $62.06, and he goes, "It's me, I'm back. The governor would donate only if we all no."
And just
There
a
you go.
reminder that we at ASM are here at Adelaide, at AVCon in Adelaide, and we are currently raising money for Beyond Blue. We have now crossed the $2,500 mark, which is an amazing effort by everyone. Thank you so much to everyone who's donated, all the runners, all the supporters,
Hey, nice.
everyone. Now we just got to keep pushing to get 3,000 by the end of the day.
Yeah, thank you very much,
can
guys.
do
It
it.
does mean a lot. It's for a pretty good cause.
Oh no. Softman is stoned. What are you doing, Softman?
Oh, soft man. You're petrified. How can you be dead and petrified at the same time?
Scared to death.
Just ask FF1.
So this is, I think, the longest cutscene in the game. It's basically Mr. Sid, the Mr. Twirly Man, coming in, and then Teller has an argument, and the twins just tell them to shut up, basically, being all mature and stuff, and then they sacrifice themselves to save them from a collapsing wall. That previous map, by the way, the walls don't actually get closer, it's just 4 separate images. And you just teleport around that map. They do that a lot, I think, to save time. Or to save space, probably. But yeah, now we're about to get access to an airship.
This is the first playable Sid in a Final Fantasy, isn't it?
Yes. First one was 2, wasn't it? That's
Yeah.
when Sid, yeah, he has airships and stuff.
He's sort of only just in the party briefly compared to Sid and 7.
Yeah. Oh, this Sid is great. He's a bit of a comic relief. He's very upbeat. Considering like a lot of these games are pretty sad, you have kind of happy characters. Sid's definitely one of them. As well as Edge. Edge kind of tries to be a man, but we don't really see him in this run. So he's stuck fighting Ruby Kante forever.
The poor guy.
Poor guy. So we see Kane again, and he's like, "Sup? Look at my ship."
Darkness imprisoning me. All that I see.
Absolute horror.
Paladin Cecil.
Okay, so after this next cutscene, if I mash X and go into the menu, I will softlock. So, at certain points you don't want to be mashing B, X, or A, so I always mash Y. Nope. I tried. I almost landed on the town as well. Alright, so next town, you can actually explore a lot if you want. There's a couple of extra towns that you have access to. I need to go left. But yeah, they're not really important. One of them's actually important for the true credits warp of this game, where we buy an unbelievably weird amount of silver hammers and something else, I think. But we don't need to do that. But the whole concept and idea behind the 64 door glitch is that we're going to teleport using items. At least to access the rooms that we really want to access. Where's Rosa? Dark Elf. Dark Elf's going to look familiar if you watch the last run, by the way. Alright, so we're going to menu and heal that. The only way you can restore Teller's magic underflow is to use an ether, or sleep it in, I guess. So we do that to cast exit, because just purely because it's faster. And then we need to catch a black chocobo forest. Look, we need to catch a black chocobo from its forest, because we need to fly into a forest. But firstly, I'm going to save here. Because what saving does is it resets NPC movement. And so when I go in here and walk around a bit, and then I hold up, and then I can just mash A to get a chocobo every time in that spot. Oops. Supposed to land one up, but we can afford a pixel, a tile. So this cave, if you're wearing anything metallic, then you can't move and you're just paralyzed. So at the moment, Teller, Anu, and Yang all have metallic gear on. All their arm slots are metallic, and Sid only has a... what does he have? It's got like a wooden hammer, something else and something else. Prisoner gear, I think. Prisoner gear is immune to sleep. But the other gear that Cecil and Yang have on, the headband and karate, actually increase your strength. And the way that damage works in this game is that if you have a certain multiplier of strength, then you get more attacks. And that's pretty much vital for a few bosses coming up. Namely the third fiend, Valvulus, where our experience route actually depends on killing off people, so that when Kane rejoins later, he's actually at a higher level. So at the moment he's kind of sitting outside our party with Rosa and Rydia at the moment, and they just silently gain experience whenever you guys do, whenever the main guys do. So whatever experience you see on the screen, they actually regain, that they actually get that experience as well. And so when Kane rejoins, I want him to rejoin at level 19 because he'll actually gain another multiplier on his strength. And then he becomes an absolute beast for the last 3 fights. But these bats are really horrible. They take forever, and it feels like the screen just lags whenever you see them. This room is really bad too because of this encounter and another one, which is 1 damn girl and 6 bats. If you get surprise attacked by that, you lose like 30 seconds. You have enough time to do anything really. Complete FF1 even in like stairs glitch. Alright,
I was gonna say what, in 24 minutes?
It feels like it. Yeah, headband iron, swap those two. Alright, this guy looked familiar. He uses caps lock, but he's I assume his name's Astos or whatever, but he looks the same. They tend to recycle characters a lot in the FF series. I mean, it's really good for nostalgic reasons. It's kind of one of the reasons I love playing the FF series is just because how they reintroduce like enemies back into the game. Like I always love seeing like Tonbreeze and Cactuars. So Edward's got this harp, and he gave another harp to Cecil, a twin harp. So whenever Edward plays his harp, this harp will also play as well. It has like entanglement properties or something. So Dark Elf yells out some caps lock, and then we go and attack him. Grr. So this fight's going to look weird. I'm going to be killing off characters. Sid is useless from this point onwards. So he attacks once and that's it. So this fight has two phases. One is the boss phase, and the other one, I guess you can call it the non-boss phase. Him weakening Yang's perfect, actually. So you do, I think it's 2,000 hit points, and then he changes form. Does this me change in caps? And then we'll get Yang's turn again. And if weak works, then we have Yang murder himself. And now our party will get twice the experience, and so will other characters not in our party. And he's gaining level. He's gaining inches on his biceps. All right. Yeah, don't forget to get the crystal. That happens a lot when new runners pick up this game. I'll forget to do that. So I need to heal up just because I can. Oops. Alright, cool. Exit. So now instead of... I'm going to take the chocobo back to the forest. I'm actually going to pick up 2 more chocobos. And it's going to look weird what I'm doing, but I'll explain it in a sec. Just need to...
So important question, walk or quack?
Okay, so that chocobo is good. So if I re-enter, I should be able to get the black chocobo on this tile on the top left here. So just there. And then I'm gonna park him. There, we'll just do that. And walk back. It looks weird, but it's important for the game. It's also... I need to check my hovercraft position. I think I parked it directly left of Mount Hobbs, but I need to check.
Can you remind me after Valvelus to check my hovercraft?
After who? After Valvelus.
Okay, Valvelus. Yeah.
Thanks. Just realised I've been messing up my my movement.
Yeah.
I probably could have checked now actually, but that's okay. I don't get access to moving the airship. As soon as you pick it up, you can only move like one tile, and there's a cutscene. Hey Fireball, how are ya? If one of the guys in the chat who runs this category wants to check the VOD, can you see where I park my hovercraft? I'm pretty sure it's directly left of Mount Hobbs, but if it's one tile further left, then I need to change it.
If I recall, you did make a comment you had parked it one further along.
I did that for the hovercraft, at Kaipo, but I may have been okay with it before, with it afterwards. But thanks, Rocket. All right, so Zot is hell. There's some bad fights, and actually the monsters are actually starting to become faster than us, so they'll attack first. This fight is also really scary, but we should be okay. My dancing dagger. So we need to do that, move the ethers out the way. I don't need ethers anymore, but we get this fire sword for doing that, so that's cool. Oops. Oh, baby. There we go. Alright. So we underflow again. You might know what's coming up next. A hovercraft's in the right spot. Thank you, sir. Very muchly appreciated. Varney also runs this run. Runs this game. So yeah, this Ice Beast one. If you get surprise attacked by this Ice Beast battle, and the only one is Cecil alive, I've had him die with having like 700 hit points. Because like I had all four characters, all four monsters attacked Arnie, and then one of the Ice Beasts attacked again and killed Cecil. I'm gonna be safe with this. Yeah, like even this encounter, one of the puppets can attack. And Cecil's, Teller's really weak. I'm not gonna die in this next two bosses, but we might as well heal. We might as well save because it's an option. And bad things can happen. Like emulators stopping working or something, or sorry, Rocket. But yeah, it's always in a marathon setting. You gotta be safe. Okay, so we cover Teller because these sisters will attack, and if they attack Teller, they do an attack and a fire too at the same time.
Is Delta attack a risk in this run?
No, not if you're quick with getting things. If you're quick with menuing, you're fine. I need to bring these ice claws up. I also need the 20 cure rods. I need to put them there, and also grab that stack. That, so I've got everything in place now. That's cool. So yeah, Teller killing everything with Meteor is just beautiful because that fight in casual mode is it's really hard. It's one of the very few puzzle bosses. So you have to figure out that once you kill one of the sisters, if it's not Cindy, I think Cindy's either the one in the middle or at the back. The blue girl.
Sandy's the tall one. Mindy's the big one, and Cindy's the small one.
Okay. Well, one of them casts Life 2 on the other ones, unless you kill her first. But if you have Meteor, you might as well just kill all three at the same time, just to save time. So here. Yeah, you see Teller trying to kill Golbez, who just stands there looking cool. No, don't! You'll die! Alright. But yeah, this is the script Meteor. Even though he's already casted it twice. His cast time's also really quick. Maybe that's the reason why he died. So whenever there's a cutscene like this and your party wins and you don't get experience or you see the victory dance, you can pause after Golbez's name disappears. And it just makes the sound go softer until it changes. So at the moment, what chat's gonna see is really they're gonna hear soft music. So there's about, I guess, 25 minutes left of this run, 25 to 30. Mag Assisters is normally about an hour and 28. Like an hour and 28, hour and 32. The Valveless is about 134 to 140. And then the run's about 2 hours. But at the moment, Teller dies from overexertion. He looks like a big pile of bacon as well when he's lying down, which I like. But here's Kane. For some reason, he's lying down, sunbathing. He lost his Golbez lost his hold on Kane, so he's just left. And so, but Kane says, "Look, Rose is here, and she's got a bowling ball ahead of her and on top of her, and we rescue her." And then they're happy. Rosa. So coming up is a very difficult fight normally, and it's probably my favourite fight of the game just because of how well it turns out if you do all the turns properly. So we should have Kane at level 19. I've also set up Cecil's right hand so that when I equip a weapon on him, he'll get 2 of them. So I'm going to use that for the fire sword, which I got. So I've got 2 of them for Golbez later on. But firstly, we have to combine those, and then didn't mean to do Yang. That's whatever. Okay, so fire sword, we got 2 of them. Give them to Soft Man. Don't bother with equipping Rosa because we don't need to. She's useless. All she needs to do is cast slow and survive for a little bit, so. If Cecil gets weakened, it's also no great issue. But I mean, it's really just so Rosa doesn't get one shot. Okay. Marathon. That's okay. We just hope that Rosa doesn't get murdered straight away. Okay. I didn't see that damage roll. Was it about 100?
181, I think.
81, so it's 1.5. I'm going to count here. It's going to sound weird, but I need to figure out how much damage Kane's roughly done. Ugh, that's a horrible damage roll. Attack, and then a slow. It was Arnie's turn. That's better. I think I'm on about 2 or 3. We'll go with 2. And there's a jump, and then we run buffer Yang's kick. Wait on Rose's turn. The ATB is so finicky in this fight. Okay, so that's 8. The idea behind the setup of this fight is that you can kill Valveless before its 3rd tornado form. Should have Yang's turn. Okay, so we're still good. That's a really bad roll, so I'm on about 7. So I need to have Soft Man attack, jump and Yang attack. So wait on his turn. Okay, cool. So move that out the way. What do I want here? 68 Fire Claws. Alright, cool. So that fight went really well. The fight just looks really smooth when you kill Valveless before the 3rd tornado form. Like normally Valveless gets kind of in this pattern of when she's in her tornado form, she will basically alternate between casting weak, then gradual petrify, and then attacking. It's something like that. So the more weeks you see, the less hit points your guys have. If she weaks Cecil and then attacks him, then the fight goes downhill pretty quickly. Especially when I try to go into that fight only using life on Yang and Sid. I accidentally healed up Sid to full health, but I'd rather just keep them in weakened form, because if Cecil himself's not in weakened form, then he'll automatically cover everyone else, provided he's not parrying. And so you kind of abuse that a little bit to save a little bit of time.
You'll just have a sleep in Cecil's bed.
Sorry?
You'll just have a sleep in Cecil's bed. Just a reminder of some of our upcoming donation incentives. We have, for Donkey Kong Country 3, we have file name, which is 5 characters. We don't have any donations towards that, so get whatever you want in, and you're pretty much guaranteed to get it. And Warpless, which is about $150 out of $200 towards being met. So if you want to see Warpless Donkey Kong Country 3, and I know we do, get those donations coming in.
The Donkey Kong Country speedruns in general are of extremely high quality. There's a lot of like small frame window tricks in them. I think they look really good.
In front of you. And we also have a donation for when you're...
Yeah, go for it.
And we have a $13.37 donation from Drama Comic, who says, "Best of luck to all speedrunners, especially my favorite PSX Freak 101.
Hey.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you very much for that donation.
The Red Wings!
Put it to Warpless.
Huh?
I said put it to Warpless.
Just do it. At this point, it's going to be mad.
There, do it.
So after killing Valvelus, we learned that Golbez has got all 4 crystals and that he's actually going into the underworld to get more crystals because he wants them. We don't know why. So we go to the land of the dwarves. We got there somehow with a magma key that blew up a well and the mountain, apparently, and not the town. So now we're down here. Okay, so I'm going to save. I'm going to do some counting, so bear with me for a bit. Alrighty. I need to count to 63. It says 8. 10. $20.
The early Final Fantasy games cannot handle stairs.
$30. Okay, that's 40. Alright, 50, almost there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. Okay. That'll come into play later on. Just remember that I had to walk through 63 rooms before getting to this point. So I guess we're a bit lucky we landed here and there's a castle. This dwarf has a crystal, believe it or not, and he guards it. But he doesn't know that there's dolls behind here that have been, I guess they've been controlled. And they're basically acting as Golbez's spies, so he's coming, so I gotta kill the dolls.
So you have to fight Cal Cabrina still?
I would rather not.
I've never liked the Cal Cabrina fight.
Yeah. This fight generally has 2 phases. It has 3 red dolls, 3 blue dolls. The red ones are actually flagged as bosses. So if you have like instant death, you can kill or stop the blue dolls, and then focus on the red dolls. But if you kill all one color before the other color, the dolls will combine and form Big Cal Brenner. Or you can do it this way.
When this boss was put into FF14, I went to it going, oh, I've got to kill each of them individually in order. No, it doesn't matter at all in that case.
Alright, so I'm going to mute everyone. The way status ailments work in this game, you can only have one status ailment. So, yeah, keep that in mind. So, because Kane or Softman is really powerful at the moment, he can basically kill everything in one hit. Sometimes he's lame, and the blue dolls don't die straight away, but that's okay. Okay, so that's bad, but that's whatever. Just means I'm going to take this a little bit safer now. You're going to kill that one. And then you're going to cure yourself. And you're going to also cure Arnie. Wait for Kane to land. So I think Arnie's going to go next. Yeah, cover someone. Doesn't matter who. Okay. Gotta go back to Arnie's turn. Should be good. So if you kill these 2 guys simultaneously, then you won't get Big Doll. Which is awesome! Here goes the Paladin gears. Yeah! That fight is horrible.
I don't think it's
when you're
possible
learning.
to skip the giant doll in the 3D version.
Ew. Yeah. So this fight, normally you shouldn't be able to do anything before Golbez paralyzes you, but if you hold down an A and Kane's in the middle, then he'll automatically jump and you'll avoid bad things. I'm just going to do some inventory management really quickly. That. Fire Claw Paladin, and I've got Nice Claws and Cures. Do that during mealtime shadow. $68, 6 on Cure, Fire Claw Cure, no, Cure, Ice Claw Staff, okay. So we're all set. Main thing is I have the first warp. Good. Alrighty. And you are new. So with Kane in the air, his turn's still active, and when you see the end use Cecil message, that's when Golbez turns off his invulnerability. And because I have because Cecil's muted, he can't be paralyzed. So I've killed Golbez before Riddier appears. She still gets experience, and she'll level up here, I think. Yeah, she gains levels because she can, but Golbez is dead already. So now hopefully everything should be set up for the any percent part of this run, because that's the last boss I'm going to fight legitimately. So who's in the lead for
It's just Rosa.
It's Rosa? Okay. Alright. I'm going to remember to do it now. Luckily my phone's not flat. I've got 9% left. So I needed to look at my notes. I took some notes earlier, like a screenshot from my computer. But I remember the notes anyway, so it's no big deal.
Sad.
And I can save, I can do a safety save as well. Alright, so we blab on about some text and then we just cast warp because we can. Because the game doesn't think about leaving the crystal in this room. Alright. So that's a dark crystal that you need from the sealed cave, by the way. You can just warp up this battle and grab it. So we exit this room, and we go into this crazy world.
Oh god,
So-
what happened to your video game?
Oh no! What has happened?
Glitch City.
Oh,
So-
run's over.
Yeah. Everything's happening now. But welcome to the 64 floor glitch, where everything is kind of possible. Alright, so weird things are happening. Why are they happening? I'm going to get rid of Kane, then I'm going to pick up Fusoya, so I'll get that out of the way. This game has a counter that starts at 0 when you're on the world map, and it increases by 1 when you walk through a dungeon. So if you get floors which loop around, like the Dwarven Castle, then it just increases indefinitely, except for certain rooms which only have 1 exit. If you walk through 64 floors, the counter increases and loops back to 0. So it goes up to 63 and back to 0. But if you're, say, in the crystal room on floor 0 and you walk out of it, instead of the game putting you back at the Dwarven Castle, it puts you on floor, I guess, quote-unquote, -1, which is actually based off of RAM values. So at the moment, the game just scrolls me through RAM values until it figures out where to put me. The first few floors of the 64 floor glitch depend on where you've parked your vehicles. So the black chocobo, which way the last yellow chocobo went, where your hovercraft's parked, the big whale, all of those things. And then later floors depend on how much GP you have, what the in-game time is at, what your battle speed settings are, which so I'm going to change them. I'll change them here actually. So need burst and peep there. I also need those spells. And Royce is dead, so we'll life and then heal her. I don't think I needed to heal her, but what I need to do here is put life 1,
Well, yeah, it says that.
slow on mute. Oh, your mutant's slow.
So let me know when you got time for a donation.
Yeah, that's right. In custom, I'm just going to change this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 14, 20. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, go for it.
We have a $5 donation from Totally Not Merc. I wonder who that could be. That says, let's get that DKC 3 Warpless incentive met. All donations to that incentive from now on. I can see the DKC 3 runner looking quite frustrated. Yes.
I'm about 10 minutes from finishing. Yeah, between 10 and 15. Just need to check whether I've done this right. Burst compete in
You
the
got
bottom
people
right,
excited?
middle and right spots.
What the hell?
Life 1 mutant slow bottom row. I'm pretty sure I've done those things, but let's just check. Life 1 mute slow. Burst compete. Okay. So the later floors depend on how many frames you spend on the in-game timer. Bunch of other things. Then it depends completely on the arrangement of your spells in your inventory. So it depends. The rooms I have to go through to do something with Rosa's spells, I've got to change Palom's, Porum's, and Fusoya's spells. So they look really weird at the moment. I'm about to enter the room, but it depends on battle speed settings. So it looks like this, and it's a brilliant room. It's one of my favorite rooms. So this floor actually has Zeromus music, and also has an item shop. So
Right.
it's great. So I think I saved. Yeah. So I have to try to get through the next 3 rooms and hope that I do. If not, then it's a kind of a I have to reset a bunch of times. Okay, so I can't exit, so I'm just gonna do that. This part may take me a while to get through. But I have to get through the next 3 rooms. There we go, cool. So we got there, now we just kind of wander through all these rooms. Those 3 rooms and the one that I'll move through slowly, that room changes every second, and you get some really weird glitchy rooms. Some of them don't even load, they just lock your game up. So now I'm kind of cycling through all of Fusoya's spells, and I'm I'm gonna be walking everywhere. It's gonna look really weird. Oh, okay, I don't know where I'm gonna end up. So this will take a while, maybe a minute or so. Yeah, I'm just gonna put Rydia there. That for convenience. We're gonna warp a few times. Yeah, we'll warp again, why not? Because we can. Yep. So the middle, left, and right, we'll just warp again, I guess. That was a cool room. Now we're back out here. Still here for a bit. I think we're past all the ones that depend on Fusoya's inventory, so what I want to do is land inside a room that's got stairs directly below me. If I've got that, then we're good. Shouldn't take too much longer. There we are. Hello. So now if we look at Rosa's spells, we've now got one called Uptco. And Uptco is special. It's a special spell, but alright, so we end up here in this same room, and then we go up and left and right and whatever, and then we're at Zeromus. So yeah, that was fun.
Oh yeah, he's the final boss, by the way.
He's the final boss, and I'm not leveled at all.
This can't possibly go wrong.
This can't possibly go wrong. Correct.
And Golbez is not no longer completely evil, and also in your party.
Yeah, Sid's supposed to be Fusoya. So at this point, normally, I ask chat if they want to guess a number between 1600 and 2100, because that's the amount of damage that Sid's going to do during his Meteor. And him using Meteor is pretty special.
I'm gonna guess 1843.
1780.
Okay, 2100.
Silly.
Silly. But yeah, the whole 64 floor glitch part of this run is just, yeah, I've been doing it for 3 years and still love it. I bought all those items earlier. You might have noticed that brown room with the black strip down the middle. Depending on where you enter on that black strip, if you have a specific series of items set up in your inventory, I usually start with like a Cure Rod times 13, and then Ice or Fire Claws. Those essentially set up warps, so then I can warp to specific spots. So I have 4 warps. One of them is the Sealed Cave. The other one's Fusoya's Palace, where he sleeps. Then the other one's this room, and the other one is the exact same room that I land in with the brown room. So that allows me to teleport everywhere. So we're almost about to finish. It's just a 5.5 minute amount of cutscenes, but the shenanigans isn't over yet. There's a couple of things which I'll still mention, but let's see what Sid's roll is. Come on, high roll. Hey!
Oh,
I
nice.
lost. Yeah, Sid's highest is like 2106-ish. So who won that? Rocket. You won.
If by Price is
Congrats.
Right rules.
Yes, it's right rules, yes.
I was never going to win that. But yeah, let's see. I don't know if my chat's going to load. Hey, Silver Star. So yeah, then Zeromus just ruins everyone.
That was another donation.
You're in danger! So we mashed through this. Apparently praying helps. Sure. To the media. Let's go.
We got another donation when you got time.
Go for it.
We have a donation from Creepably. I never got that right, so you probably have to explain that. Can't wait for DKC3. Do us proud, Davo. Put $15 towards Warpless and $5 to calling the file Winky.
Winking.
That's what I was pointing. I was just like,
I don't know how to pronounce it.
that's how we say it. We made it hard.
Your dad said I saw you cool.
So I'm not running here just because I can. Running here for the whatever, like the healing cutscene, actually saves 12 seconds of lag. Pretty much. It's like if I let go, that just everything just takes a lot longer. It's probably the most recent time save found. Yeah, pretty much. And because of it, it's caused world records to happen. It's been pretty great. Yeah, the world record in this game's getting pretty optimized. There's very little time to be saved, considering it's an RNG heavy run. All right, so a bit of stuff to do.
Fusoya is here to cheer Fusoya
Alrighty,
on.
Fusoya is here to cast Meteor, even though it won't do anything. Rydia can attack. Why not? Yank can kick. Come on. Alright, so Rose is going to use a spell called Upsco, because why not? Normally Zeromus doesn't shake for this long, but since I've arranged my party, it's a bit different. Here we go, reaction, look at this. And time, by the way. So yeah, rip Zeromus, he dies in one hit. You can't actually damage Zeromus in that form, but there's a spell called Reaction which you learn from one of the things on the moon. You don't learn it, but you see it when you cast Thunder on it. It doesn't do any damage, it just flags someone as dead, so while you can't damage Zeromus, you can kill him. And that's the end of the run. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've enjoyed doing the run. So yeah, thanks Softman, thanks everyone for the support. And I think we'll pass it on to whoever's going next.
The PSX.
PSX. PSX is still going, so yeah, stay tuned for that. And seriously stick around because PSX's Super Nintendo is one of a kind. Like, I don't know of any other Super Nintendo in the world that does what PSX's does. So,
and if you like Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes, you're gonna love this.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Roth, for that run. That was awesome.
Thanks.
Yes, as we said, coming up next is PSX with True Lies for the SNES.